Happy Friday, everyone. Are you set for the weekend? Here on Weather for Weather Geeks, we'll talk about that weekend forecast and beyond, the trends for next week. But first, let's take a little trip down memory lane. Maybe not such a pleasant memory for many of us who remember that smoky June of 2023. The Canadian wildfire smoke was a big story last summer, particularly in June. And on today's date specifically, the air quality was pretty bad across our area, especially in our Ohio counties. When you see numbers like this, that was pretty bad stuff. So it was the wildfire smoke that was not just elevated high above our heads, but it was low enough to the ground that it did impact our air quality across the region. 1 year ago today, we had this several times during last summer. Now, the wildfire smoke across North America this spring and early summer has been mostly concentrated not in Canada, but in Mexico, where it's been very hot and very dry over the last few months. And so occasionally some smoke has filtered up into the U.S. from the south instead of from the north like this. We haven't had many problems around here, and overall, while this has added some haze to the sky at times, we haven't had too many issues with air quality as a result of the smoke that's been drifting northward from Mexico. Certainly not as big of a story as last summer with those tremendous wildfires up in Canada. Also on today's date, and also not exactly a happy memory, today's date back in 1947, before May 31st of 85, this was the most significant tornado in our region's history. This was the track, this red line right here. Now this is 1985 down here. You'll notice a very similar track. It almost parallels 1985, just a little bit farther to the north. This was an F4 on June 7th, 1947. That started just north or on the north side of Niles in Trumbull County and then crossed the state line and stayed on the ground for a while into Mercer County. And again, a very, very similar track to that devastating F5 that occurred 38 years later in 1985. And of course, tornadic activity has been a big story thus far in this year in the state of Ohio. The official count with the central Ohio tornadoes that we had the other night, we're up to 62 now, and that ties the record for the most tornadoes in a calendar year. 1992 is the year that we are tying, and we're a little over halfway through the year. We got a lot of the year left, so no doubt this will go into the record books as the most tornadic year on record for the state of Ohio. Now, those are the official numbers. We've had, preliminarily speaking, up to 70 tornadoes in Ohio, but some of these are probably duplicates. The official number stands at 62 right now, but the number of reports that we've seen, up to 70 in Ohio, 19 in Pennsylvania. Texas has taken the lead. No big surprise considering where Texas is geographically and also, of course, how big it is. 118 tornadoes in the Lone Star State, at least tornado reports thus far in 2024. We didn't have any tornadoes today, but it was a breezy day across the valley. We had a peak wind gust of 33 miles per hour at the Youngstown Warren Airport this afternoon. But while we did have a fair amount of clouds during the second half of the day, they were pretty unproductive. A couple of showers, a couple of sprinkles, that was about it. It's overall a pretty pleasant evening, and it's a little on the cool side. And water temperatures are still a little on the cool side, but some of the more shallow rivers and lakes are warming up pretty nicely as now we are into meteorological summer. If you're hitting one of our area lakes this weekend, pretty good weekend for that. A little bit breezy, especially on Sunday. West winds 10 to 20 on Saturday, 12 to 25 on Sunday. No lightning this weekend, and rain chances minimal through the daylight hours. Probably some showers later on Saturday night, probably after midnight. You'll see that on Futurecast here as we roll forward into the weekend. Saturday's a real winner. We'll shake off the chill pretty quickly in the morning. Some fair weather clouds in the mix in the afternoon. Just delightful to kick off the weekend. This front, though, arrives when most of us won't even notice it in the wee hours of Sunday morning, 3, 4, 5 a.m. Some showers pushing through. By the time most of us are up and around Sunday morning, 7, 8, 9 a.m., the sun will be out. What a great day coming up on Sunday ahead of this next front. Now, this next front's stronger. It's going to come through with little fanfare. Probably no rain showers, or very few rain showers with this Sunday night. But we'll notice the front has passed certainly on Monday. Cool cyclonic flow in the wake of this front over the relatively warm Great Lakes, and we're going to have a stratocumulus deck overhead on Monday. That's going to keep a lid on temperatures. Might even be a sprinkle in a couple of spots on Monday, especially up near the lake. Now, Monday really stands out here when we look at the next 10 days. It'll be a good 13 degrees cooler than the average in terms of our high temperatures on Monday. We get closer to average Tuesday, then we really turn the corner during the second half of next week. This is Father's Day weekend coming up next weekend. It looks pretty warm. Now, nothing record-setting, and I don't think we'll see 90 just yet, but we'll probably get well into the 80s at times during mid-month. And if you've been watching Weather Geeks of late, I've been harping on this a lot lately, that I do think the second half of June will be distinctly hotter than the first half and may be the start of a pattern that takes us through much of the rest of the summer. And I think it's going to be a pretty hot summer, especially compared to the relatively cool summer we had in 2023. That'll do it for me on this Friday evening on Weather for Weather Geeks. Thanks for watching tonight and all week long. Have a great weekend, everyone. I will see you right back here on Monday.